Okay, so last night I watched Godzilla vs. Biolante, and I'm just gonna come out and say it, man. This movie rules. I don't know where this ranks in terms of my favorite Godzilla movies, but this is easily no question in the top 10. I don't I don't know if I can quite put it in the top 5, which currently is a tie between Three-Headed Monster and Astro Monster, because I really like both of those movies. I think this has an argument to be another one of those in contention for it. There's a lot about this movie that works. Number one, it has the Ding Dang Godzilla theme, which felt very missing from Return to Godzilla. The movie starts with just kind of like a montage of some of the last films, and you just see Goji front and center, and bar, 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 bar. And then there's a couple other points when there is a classroom full of psychic children. It kind of makes sense in context, weirdly enough, because there's a bit of a plot line with that, or at least with ESP. But there's this. Sorry, brain stop for a second as I was over explaining the context. There's a room full of psychic children, and like, okay, what did you all dream about? And they all show these pictures of Godzilla, and as soon as you see that, you just hear the ba ba bum ba ba bum ba 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 bum. And as I'm listening to it, I've got this big grin on my face, and I don't remember if I was laughing or not, but I think I did. It's like, this is great. Like, this is so aggressively silly in the best way, but by throwing in the Godzilla theme, you made it kind of hype too, and I just enjoyed that. And then when Goji, like when there's a big explosion in the volcano and then Godzilla comes out, you get the ba ba boom ba ba boom ba 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 ba. It comes back. I'm like, oh man. Not only did they use the Godzilla theme, they used it well. I really enjoyed it. So that's thing number one. Thing number two, the monsters are good. Number one, I really liked the Godzilla suit in this. It just looked really good. Like the Return of Godzilla, it's solid, but a lot of the shots of the face look really goofy. And it's Goji. Half the time he's got to look goofy. But this one just looked really nice. Like, I could tell by looking at the face, like, oh, this is definitely a different suit. He looks really menacing. Oh, my boy looks so good. And then you got Biolante. She has got to be one of my favorite monsters. I really, really liked her. Like, the first scene, you don't see her full form. Just the vines are moving on their own. And I kept joking to Clay, as like, man, I'm gonna make a lot of Little Shop of Horrors jokes here. But, like, you see the vines, like, the thorns moving around. It's something straight out of a horror movie. It's really cool. The next time you see her... Actually, no, the next time you see her, just see her first form, where she's just this giant rose, essentially, but I just thought it looked kind of cool. It looked really pretty. And then the fight with Godzilla, the first one, it's pretty cool. She has this... Gosh, how did Clay describe it? I wrote it down. It was this pulsating, bleeding womb. I hated it. It looks like the Yu-Gi-Oh card Cocoon of Evolution. And yeah, it's pulsating, and anytime Godzilla hits it, it just green Nickelodeon slime is just exploding everywhere, and it's nasty, it's gross, and it's so cool. And then you get the second form, which is this unholy combination of Godzilla and Audrey 2. And just the way it was moving, like, oh, it's so cool, and I hated it in the best possible way. I freaking loved this thing, man. Oh, hi, Bahamut. There's some really cool moments in the second fight where Biolante's, like, vine thorns just stabs through Goji's hand, and it looks super painful, and he rips it out. He, like, gets, I think, some of the buds in a headlock, and then just, like, snaps them off. Biolante, like, shoots spores out of her mouth. That was neat. But then I remember is Godzilla's approaching as the mouth is open. I'm like, that's an interesting strategy, trying to get eaten. But then he's got his head in her mouth, and then I think he just, like, blasted her point blank with an atomic breath. Like, you know what? That actually wasn't a bad strategy. Like, alright, it worked, I suppose. And, like, I keep saying it was so cool, but it really, really was. But in addition to all of that, there is this real beauty and sadness to Biolante. She is made of a plant fused with Godzilla's G cells. And this is the first movie to really like introduce that concept, but also infused with the DNA of a human being. So what this monster is, like, it has a human soul inside of it that wants to escape and is literally begging to be set free. But also, because she's made of Godzilla's cells, she's almost like a sister to him. Because I think they even mentioned, like, oh, you know, she's like a sibling. She's actually closer than that, almost like a twin, kind of. And so when Godzilla approaches her and finds her, you almost kind of get that sense of he has a chance to find a companion. And I don't see that in any romantic sense, but it's like there's another thing like me. Family. And she is attacking him so he can kill her and set her free. And there's a deleted scene where after this first confrontation, when she dies, she just like turns into a field of flowers, and you kind of just see Godzilla go from like angry and violent to confused as what is going on, and then sadness and regret. And it's a deleted scene, but it is easily my favorite part of the movie. As much as I love the monster fights because they're cool, it is that moment afterwards that really highlights Godzilla's loneliness. And something I don't think I said in the last film, or my review of the last movie, Return of Godzilla is specifically a sequel to the original film. So the Heisei era is ignoring everything from Godzilla Raids Again onwards to make its own continuity. So this version of Godzilla has not yet met Keiji, Rodan, Mothra, hasn't had to deal with Mechagodzilla yet. So this is a Godzilla that is lonely. And I'm wondering, I guess what I want to say is like, I'm wondering how much of a factor that's going to like play in later. Almost how much character is this Godzilla going to have as a result of that? Because that sounds really interesting and I want to see how that plays out. Sorry, I was trying to look at my notes to see what else, did I have anything to say about the monsters. I think the only other thing is that Biolante kind of low-key won the fight. Like, the two of them are fighting, and afterwards, because of some other stuff going on, Godzilla ends up retreating to the ocean, where he just... and then just collapses into the water. And, like, because the humans did some stuff to him, too. We'll get to that in a second. I'm like, you know... did he just lose? Or, like, did this end in a draw? And then Biolante still dies. Like, Godzilla got his. But she also... that's what she was trying to have happen, so then her soul can ascend into heaven. So she low-key kind of won. Like, I don't know if I would say that Godzilla full-on lost. It's maybe, like... he doesn't die at the end. She did. So I guess it's still a win. But it doesn't feel like a full-on victory the way a lot of other movies do. You know, it doesn't do that that he does from Astro Monster. One of the reasons Astro Monster is one of my favorites. It has a lot going for it. The Godzilla victory dance is so funny. That's what I wanted to say about the monsters. That was the second thing I really liked. The third thing is I actually really liked the humans. There's a lot going on in this movie. You've got the whole ESP thing. There's this girl named Miki who just has psychic powers and can sense wherever Godzilla is. And she's the one who can sense the human soul in Biolante that is just wants to be set free. And from what I understand, she is in every other movie of the Heisei era. And I don't know if she's essentially the main character of the Heisei era or if she just kind of keeps appearing. We'll see as we go. There's this dude named Kuroki who is essentially the head of the anti-Godzilla measures, like almost like task force, and his strategy works. The strategy is we're going to load him full of these anti-nuclear bacteria, and it's essentially going to like eat him alive and destroy him. And like they're able to shoot him with it. It's not working. So they lead him into an area where they can essentially just keep shooting him with like these really high intensity like heat rays, and that will raise the temperature of his body, and then that's gonna kill him. And in the fight with Biolante, because they've raised his body temperature enough, these things start to kick in. Then the monster comes, so he's definitely fighting when he's not at full strength. But a combination of the bacteria and Biolante is like, okay, I'm gone. Like, I'm done. And then he just collapses. But then he's in the water long enough that his temperature goes down. He's like, all right, I lived. Peace. I'll see you in the next one. But speaking of the anti-nuclear bacteria, there is this whole subplot about, like, espionage and subterfuge and conspiracy with different countries trying to get a hold of this technology, but also trying to make sure that no one else gets this technology. Because if you have this, nuclear weapons don't mean anything anymore. And there's this, like, John Wick secret agent that has one of my favorite lines in any Godzilla movie, where he's in Osaka and he looks out the blinds and there's Godzilla just right outside. Just, damn, it's Godzilla. Like, the delivery is like so deadpan. It's perfect. It's great. And there's a scene later, like near the, like at the end of the movie, where he dies because he just like explodes, and it makes sense in context because like he goes into that area where Godzilla was, where they're raising his temperature, and he, like, because Kuroki presses the button and just fries this dude. That was awesome. There's this guy named Colonel Gondo, who might be my favorite human in a Godzilla movie. Like, this dude's like, man, my job as like part of the anti-Godzilla task force is really boring because I don't have a Godzilla to deal with, but there's all this like newfangled technology. I don't know what the hell this stuff is, but man, I'm hoping Godzilla shows up because I'll have something to do. And then Godzilla shows up and like he's excited. He gets some fun one-liners when there's like a bomb at the, I don't remember exactly what was going on here, but like a bomb explodes, does some stuff to the volcano, and that's when Godzilla comes out. But when they're not able to stop the bomb, he just looks at Kuroki. Amen. Ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-boom. I loved it. And then part of the way they get all these, like the bacteria in Godzilla is they have a task force go in and just shoot him with bazookas that are loaded with it. So he shoots Godzilla. I think he shoots him right in the mouth. And Godzilla's pissed and just looks right at this dude like, I am going to kill you. I'm going to destroy the building you're in. And Gondo just kind of salutes him like, what does he say? It's something along the, I don't remember exactly what he says, but like he looks Godzilla into the windows of his soul and just taunts him for getting him. And then he gets killed. Like, what a way to go out. This guy rules. I keep saying like about this movie rules. This is really cool. This is really fun. This movie's great. I learned that, I think it was 2014. Was that the 60th anniversary? I think it was supposed to be in 2014. There was a poll in Japan to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Godzilla to determine what is Japan's favorite Godzilla movie, and Biolante was the winner. I think the original was number 2, and I think Destroya was supposed to be number 3. And I don't think this is my favorite movie, but the more I'm talking about it, I was like, I really like this movie. The more I'm talking about getting excited, I'm like, maybe it is. Maybe it is even better than I thought it was, and I was already really liking it. Okay, what else? Oh, right, I haven't even talked about Shiragami yet. So, another aspect of the human plotline that I really like is Dr. Shiragami and just kind of the tragedy of him. So he's a biologist, and he was studying, I believe he was studying Godzilla and the G cells, because there's a 5-year time skip in between the end of the first movie, I guess it's technically the second movie, the first in this era, 5 years after the return of Godzilla in this film. And he was doing some studying, and I think it was he took his daughter Erica with him on a trip, related to this. Erica ended up getting killed. She is the soul in Biolante. And he had decided, like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to mess with this shit. Eventually, the government comes to him, talks about the anti-nuclear bacteria, like, we're trying to stop Godzilla. Godzilla's gonna be on the loose again. Like, can you help us? No, I swore I wouldn't. I'm not gonna touch this. But then he does. He creates Biolante, and you just kind of feel his regret pretty immediately. I think he had said, like, I wanted to create an immortal plant, and I did. And I also kind of made something worse. And by the end of the film, after, Biolante is destroyed, and his daughter's soul can go into heaven, and they're able to defeat Godzilla, and I think, like, one of the other, like, heads of the government comes up to him, he's like, all right, this antibacteria, we gotta keep working on it, you've mastered it, let's do this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, no. I'm done. I am not touching this anymore. And then, like, after he has said, like, I am not doing this, he gets assassinated by a foreign agent, like the John Wick dude, to make sure he can never do this again. It's a lot. There is a lot going on in this movie, but it was good, and it was really, like, it was interesting. And I feel like I don't always get to say that about the humans, and they're, like, all consistently either interesting, cool, fun, or all of the above. And then finally, I like this movie thematically. Godzilla is fundamentally a story about humanity interacting with nature and the consequences of that. It is about messing with nature and the consequences of that. So a movie specifically about genetic engineering, I feel like, is that kind of perfect balance of messing with nature with some science fiction there as well. And sorry, I had to swallow. I think that just works really well for this series. Yeah, overall, I liked this movie a lot. This is definitely one of my favorites. I think it pretty much hits on every aspect I would want a Godzilla movie to hit on. And if this is this, because, like, I didn't love Return of Godzilla, but I still liked it. And if this is just gonna be, like, the level that the Heisei era is consistently operating on, I'm gonna be in for really good, like, I think next 5 movies. Let's see, because I know Destroy is last. I think Space Godzilla's before that. And then I don't know the order of the next 3, but I know it's Mothra, Ghidorah, and Mechagodzilla. Which are 3 of my favorite monsters. So, yeah, I think the Heisei era is gonna be really good.